Chapter 1. A Broken Home. The cold blade sliced across Olivia Wynn's face. That's why the sharp pain stung as her skin was peeled back, and Caroline Shun was methodically cutting flesh from her face. Why, Caroline? I helped you rise in the entertainment industry step by step. Why are you doing this to me? Olivia gritted her teeth, glaring at the woman before her. Why? Don't you know the reason? Caroline sneered, her eyes full of hatred. I always got the resources you didn't want. Olivia, you have no talent. Do you think you deserve it? I can leave the industry for Theodore Hahn, but he still won't look at me. It's all because of you, Olivia, because you exist. Caroline's hand pressed harder. Olivia's vision blurred from the pain, but she still shook her head instinctively. The resources she fought to get for Caroline, was this how she felt about them? And Theodore Hahn? Caroline liked Theodore Hahn. But Caroline had told her that Theodore was a monster. Olivia's eyes widened in shock, reflecting Caroline's twisted expression. The One family assets have all been transferred. From now on, the One family will no longer exist, and it's all thanks to you, my dear sister. What? Cough, cough. Olivia wanted to question her, but was overcome by a violent fit of coughing. Hadn't she only transferred part of the shares? How did it become the entire family estate? A metallic taste filled her throat. Olivia struggled to breathe, feeling something wet at the corner of her mouth. Red liquid dripped onto the polished floor, blooming into eerie flowers. Caroline's eyes caught sight of it, and she smiled. You're coughing blood? Looks like the reagent worked faster than I expected. What do you mean? Olivia's heart skipped a beat. Olivia, doesn't your condition seem familiar? Your grandfather and mother died the same way. Caroline's eyes glinted with malice. My father endured 20 years of humiliation in your family, all because of you fools. So it was you. Yes, it was us. And you don't know, do you? Theodore Hahn, whom you always wanted to escape from, is dead. Olivia's breath caught. What did you say? What happened to Theodore? He's dead. All because of you, you idiot. Olivia, don't you understand? The Hahn Group is a massive company. Did you think you could easily betray them? Theodore rushed to the One family estate as soon as he heard about your injury, not knowing his car had been tampered with. Do you think he regretted loving you before he died? Caroline took 2 steps forward, tilting Olivia's chin to savor her panic. Betraying Theodore. The fall of the Hahn Group, Theodore's car accident. How could this be? Olivia broke free from Caroline's grasp, struggling to back away. Stop pretending. You always knew, didn't you? Caroline watched as Olivia lost her strength, collapsing like a rag doll. Theodore willingly let you betray him, willingly handed the Hahn Group to you, and then you gave it to me. Olivia's fingers trembled, disbelief in her eyes. Rage consumed her. She had treated Caroline well, but everyone around her had died at the hands of this venomous woman. How did it come to this? Cough, cough. Olivia's coughing turned uncontrollable. She glared at the woman before her, her throat burning, blood pouring out, the pain overwhelming her mind. Her vision blurred, the faces of her enemies laughing cruelly. She felt intense pain and unwillingness. If she could do it all over again, she would never spare Caroline. Click. The sound of a camera shutter echoed repeatedly, piercing her eardrums. Olivia's fingers twitched as she slowly opened her eyes to a familiar silhouette. Caroline Shun. She would never mistake that back. Wait, this place. Olivia looked up at the grand, towering buildings, the lush streets beside them. The Hahn family estate. A look of astonishment crossed Olivia's eyes. Wasn't this the scene from 3 years ago when she had refused the Hahn family's marriage proposal? Had she been reborn? Olivia remembered how she had listened to Caroline's advice in her past life, rejecting the marriage proposal, offending the Hahn family's matriarch, damaging the One family's foundation, and causing her grandfather to fall ill. But now, Miss One has woken up. Reporters swarmed around her. Olivia glanced to the side, seeing Caroline subtly stepping away from the storm's center. Miss One, are you here to reject the Hahn family's marriage proposal? The One family is on the brink of collapse. Are you rejecting the marriage proposal to hasten your family's downfall? The crowd closed in, microphones shoved in her face. In the scuffle, a camera corner struck Olivia's forehead, a red stain blooming on her pale skin. Olivia frowned, her eyes clouded with darkness. Her lips parted slightly. "If you don't want your companies to go bankrupt, get out of my way." The crowd paused for a moment, the voice from the center so cold it stirred fear in their hearts. Olivia stood up slowly, glanced at her scraped knee, then wiped her forehead with her hand, looking at the blood on her fingertips before smearing it away. "Move, everyone, move." A sharp yet soft voice broke the silence, like a startled rabbit, enough to evoke pity. The crowd parted, revealing Caroline Shun standing in front of Olivia. "Olivia just wants to call off the engagement, and you make such a big deal out of it. Don't we celebrities have the right to choose our own marriages?" The girl wore a light pink dress, her shoulders trembling, her voice quivering. Even online, she could play the pitiful victim, a well-calculated move. Olivia sneered inwardly, raising an eyebrow as she leaned close to Caroline's ear. "Caroline, weren't these reporters arranged by you?" Caroline froze, suppressing her panic. She turned sharply, only to be slapped hard. The crowd gasped. Caroline clutched her cheek, stunned, while Olivia casually wiped her hands and looked up at the second-floor window. Sure enough, Theodore Hahn stood there. Chapter 2. Claiming the skill of a kiss. Behind the floor-to-ceiling window, a man with long fingers held a coffee cup. The deep blue sleeve cuffs reflected light. His face was stern and calm, but his eyebrows furrowed slightly when he met Olivia's gaze. It was a chilling and awe-inspiring sight. Olivia felt a bit of reassurance. She turned to Caroline, her coldness replaced by innocent confusion and fear. Her fingers trembled as she shrank back. "Caroline, why? I didn't mean to. It was you who brought me to the Hahn family." The entertainment reporters were momentarily stunned. Everyone knew Olivia One was a timid figure who could barely speak a complete sentence on TV. How could she challenge the Hahn family's power? So, the reporters became excited, turning their focus on Caroline. "Miss Shun, is this your plan? Aren't you from the One family? Are you trying to topple the One family?" The camera zoomed in on her face. Caroline's expression flickered with panic. In a blink, the situation shifted. "Olivia, no, you plan to call off the engagement and run away with Winter Ming." Olivia sneered. "Winter Ming? The One and Han families arranged the engagement 3 years ago. Theodore and I are in love. If I were to elope, it would be with him." The timid look on Olivia's face vanished, her eyes cold as she stared at Caroline. "Caroline, I treated you like a sister, giving you resources and connections. Is this how you repay me? Are you trying to destroy the One family?" Her voice trailed off, and Olivia furrowed her brows, her face full of sorrow. She raised her hand and slapped Caroline on the other cheek. Caroline's pale face bore 2 clear handprints, the taste of blood in her mouth. The reporters, energized, flashed their cameras incessantly, this time all aimed at Caroline. The treatment Olivia had endured now fell upon Caroline, even more intensely. Caroline, regaining her senses, seethed with rage, her low growl full of hatred. "Olivia, what mutual affection? You've never even met Theodore. What right do you have? We're engaged. Do we need to announce it to you?" Olivia sneered, her eyes gleaming with rare interest. With that, she took out her phone and dialed a number, looking up at the second-floor window, her eyes sparkling. "Right, darling." Theodore Hahn paused, tightening his grip on his phone, his eyes deepening. The dial tone sounded, the call ended, and the figure behind the window disappeared. Olivia put away her phone, her expression unchanged. In her past life, she had refused the engagement without even meeting Theodore. Now the engagement was still valid, and the One family could be saved. "You're lying. You were fooling around behind Theodore's back." Caroline screamed, rushing to grab Olivia's collar, raising her hand to hit her. Olivia snorted, catching Caroline's wrist, her eyes full of mockery. "Theodore's here," a voice shouted, and Olivia's expression froze. She turned to see the villa entrance. The man dressed in a black suit walked with long strides, his waist adorned with a faint silver line, his cuffs a deep blue. His face was stern, his nose straight, lips thin, his expression cold and indifferent. The reporters surged forward but stopped 3 meters away, not daring to approach. Theodore's eyes locked onto Olivia, walking straight to her. The crowd exchanged glances, instinctively making way. "Ah!" Olivia exclaimed as her waist was suddenly grabbed. She hadn't been prepared, and she instinctively cried out. When she regained her senses, she had been pulled away from Caroline, who was pushed to the ground by bodyguards. "Don't befriend just anyone," he whispered, his breath warm against her ear. Olivia's ears turned red, her mind briefly blank. Then she heard a cautious voice. "Theodore, is what Miss Wen said true? About the engagement?" Theodore chuckled softly, leaning close to Olivia's ear, his voice low. "They're asking when we'll get married." Her heart fluttered. Olivia's ears felt hot. She cleared her throat, her eyes tentative. "2 months." Theodore chuckled, his voice low, unheard by others but clear to Olivia. "Did you hear that?" Olivia said 2 months. The reporters barely contained their excitement. By the time they reacted, Theodore had already led Olivia away. The man was tall, and Olivia followed closely behind, no one daring to stop them. Caroline watched their retreating figures, her fingers scraping the ground, clenching into fists. "Olivia, always Olivia. Miss Shun, are you jealous of Miss Wen? Is your pure goddess image just a marketing ploy?" The reporters, wielding cameras, surrounded Caroline once more. Caroline had no escape, trying to fend them off, raising her arm to shield her face, enduring the pushing and groping from unscrupulous media. Outside, the breeze was gentle, the car window open, the surroundings quiet. Inside the car, it was just Olivia and Theodore. Olivia's heart pounded uncontrollably. "You!" Theodore suddenly turned. Olivia instinctively held her breath, shrinking into her seat. Click. The seatbelt clicked open, accompanied by his deep voice. "Seatbelt." His scent filled the air, the two close enough to feel each other's breath. Olivia's ears burned, her mind blank. She instinctively closed her eyes, moving to kiss the face so near. Closed then apart. 3 seconds. Olivia pulled back after a kiss. After she moved away, Theodore looked at Olivia. His deep eyes held a storm, his throat moving as if in thought. "Planning to kiss me back?" Olivia recalled Caroline's words about Theodore liking her. Her lips curled into a smile, closing her eyes, ready for his kiss. Why the change of heart? His voice broke the silence, deep and resonant. Olivia opened her eyes, seeing Theodore had already pulled back, starting the car. She turned, seeing the light on his face, his perfect jawline, tightly pressed lips, exuding coldness. That's why, in her past life, Olivia had feared him, believing Caroline's words. "I realized I never understood you. The light turned red. The car stopped suddenly, Olivia's words cut off by the jolt forward. She closed her eyes, but the expected pain didn't come. Instead, a warm hand cupped her forehead, spreading warmth. Theodore leaned over, protectively shielding her. Her heartbeat echoed in her ears, his breath warm against her skin. Olivia felt a pang of surprise. Could Theodore be nervous too? Because of her? They were so close, his breath brushing her ear, filling her with warmth. "You should drive." "I won't talk anymore," she said quickly. The car restarted and Theodore's lips curved slightly, unnoticed by himself. They soon arrived at the One Family home, a towering traditional Chinese building, its red walls and black tiles exuding an elegant charm. This was the One Family estate. Familiar feelings surged through Olivia's mind, images from the past flashing by. Grandfather, mother. A tear streaked down Olivia's cheek. She touched her face, surprised to find herself crying. Had she truly cried? In her fluster, Olivia instinctively wiped her eyes, but her hand was stopped by a firm grip. Her fair wrist was held by a strong hand, and she looked over to see a soft handkerchief. Theodore's brows furrowed slightly, his deep eyes focused on her face. "Don't use your hand." His voice was low and gentle, and Olivia was momentarily stunned, her heart sinking as she gazed up at him with tear-filled eyes, feeling a mix of emotions. Theodore paused for a moment, a soft laugh escaping his lips. He leaned in, his breath mingling with hers, gently kissing away her tears. With soft, careful kisses, he moved from her lips to her eyelids, tenderly soothing her. Olivia's mind went blank, her thoughts scattered. He was being so gentle. When he pulled back, Olivia's cheeks were flushed, her eyes misty. Her throat felt dry, and she swallowed nervously. Reciprocation. Theodore's lips curved into a smile. The click of a door opening interrupted them. A woman stepped out, and Olivia's eyes lit up with joy. She quickly got out of the car, running towards the woman with a bright smile on her face. "Mom!" Olivia's voice was filled with happiness as she embraced her mother. Vivian won, feeling a sense of relief and joy. Theodore watched from the car, his eyes narrowing slightly as he observed the reunion. He started the car, turning it around and driving away, leaving Olivia and her mother behind. Olivia, was that? Vivian's long hair was tied up, her face bare of makeup but still carrying a natural scholarly air. She looked gentle, but her eyes were filled with curiosity and caution as she led Olivia into the house. "Han family's car?" Vivian asked, her brows furrowing slightly as she tried to piece together what was happening. Olivia's heart filled with warmth. She knew her mother was most opposed to her marrying into the Han family, not because of anything else but because she feared the matriarch of the Han family would make her life difficult. "Mom, our families have an engagement, and Theodore truly cares about me." Olivia held her mother's hand, speaking with a tone of affection. She then glanced at a man standing nearby, who was holding a tray of tea. After all, not many people like Uncle Simon would go to such lengths for power, right, Uncle Simon? Olivia's tone was laced with sarcasm as she addressed Simon Shun. Simon, who had been holding the tray, nearly dropped it, barely managing to steady himself. His expression remained composed, but his eyes flashed with anger. "Olivia, how have I been unscrupulous? Uncle Simon, have you forgotten?" Olivia raised an eyebrow, her smile mocking. "How about I give you an example like poisoning?" "Poisoning? Olivia, what's going on?" Vivian looked between her daughter and Simon, her eyes wide with shock. "Mom, Simon." Olivia won. Simon's voice boomed as the tray clattered to the floor. His face turned red with anger, veins bulging on his forehead. "I know you don't see me as a father, but I've been sincere to your mother. Who else would marry a woman who had a child out of wedlock? I've been a slave in the one family for years, and this is how you repay me." "Vivian, look at your daughter. Her mind is too twisted." Vivian hesitated, quickly moving to Simon's side, her brows furrowed in concern. "Olivia, you really shouldn't speak so harshly. Simon has been good to me all these years. How can you say such things?" Chapter 3: Poisoned? Meanwhile, in her room, Olivia stood under the shower, letting the hot water wash over her, finally feeling some warmth. Caroline had locked her in the basement for so long, she had lost count of the filth that had gathered on her body. As her thoughts cleared, Olivia's lips curved into a smile, a warmth she had never felt before spreading through her. With her long fingers, she picked up her phone and dialed Theodore's number. "Hello? Theo." Her voice was warm and soft, carrying a hint of coyness, the steam from the shower adding a tender note. "Have you gotten home? You didn't even let me know." Her tone was filled with a mix of playfulness and complaint, making Theodore clear his throat before responding in his usual calm manner. "Yes, I'm home." "Good." Olivia's tone instantly lifted, ending the call as she wrapped herself in a towel and bounced into her bedroom, feeling content and relaxed. The night passed quietly, and Olivia slept soundly, free from dreams. The next morning, Olivia was awakened by the sound of her phone ringing. She glanced at the screen, a cold smile playing on her lips. "Olivia won. Do you remember you're an employee at St. Hua? Get to the office immediately." She hung up without a word. An employee at St. Hua? Indeed, she, the eldest daughter of the one family and a newly signed artist at St. Hua, had been reduced to fetching tea and carrying towels. What a lowly employee. After getting ready, Olivia headed to St. Hua. As soon as she walked through the door, she was met with a wave of sarcasm. She turned to see a woman dressed in the latest Chanel, striding confidently over, her elaborate nails resting on her face, high heels clicking on the floor, her eyes full of disdain. "Well, well. The great Miss One finally graces us with her presence. Should we have the entire staff line up to welcome you?" This was her manager, Nancy. "That wouldn't be necessary." Olivia turned, smiling lightly, her fair face captivating everyone. Nancy's expression darkened, her gaze growing sharper. "Hurry up and follow me. Do you want to keep an Oscar-winning actress waiting?" Olivia's smile widened as she followed Nancy closely, everything unfolding just as it had in her past life. Drink some water and rest. You'll need to carry stuff for Miss Rome later. It's exhausting. Wait in the room. Nancy leaned against the door frame, her expression shifting quickly. Olivia accepted the bottle, playing with it in her hands, her eyes gleaming with a hidden smile. Nancy, I need to talk to you. Nancy frowned, hesitating for a moment. Fine, but make it quick. Olivia subtly opened the bottle and poured out some tea. Thank you for taking care of me all these years. Before Nancy could react, Olivia grabbed her and forced the tea down her throat. With a thud, Nancy collapsed, her awareness fading as her phone rang. Nancy, didn't you say you'd be here soon? Olivia ended the call, her arms crossed, looking down at Nancy with rare amusement. The drug in Nancy's system quickly took effect, her body turning red. Olivia knew time was of the essence and quickly helped her up. As they walked through the company corridors, Olivia didn't expect to run into a tall figure around the corner. Theodore, you. Olivia looked up in surprise, feeling nervous as if she'd been caught doing something wrong. Her lips trembled, unable to find the words. Business meeting. Theodore's gaze fell on Olivia and Nancy. What's going on? Olivia stared at Theodore, unable to explain. Nancy began to squirm uncomfortably, and before things could get out of hand, Theodore pulled Olivia into the elevator. Nancy was thrown into the car's trunk by Theodore, who then placed Olivia in the passenger seat, the atmosphere in the small space tense. Olivia glanced nervously at Theodore. No wonder she had feared him so much in her past life. His serious demeanor made it impossible for her to approach him. Explain. Theodore's eyes were fixed on Olivia. Olivia bit her lip, then suddenly hugged his neck, pressing her lips to his. Theodore froze, his body stiffening. Her scent filled his senses, and he instinctively tightened his grip on her hair. Trust me. Take me to the Tianju Hotel. Olivia pulled back slightly, her face flushed, her voice filled with pleading. Theodore didn't ask further, starting the car. In the hidden corners, his ears were slightly red. Tianju Hotel, room 303. On the bed, two people moved wildly, their heavy breaths filling the room. In the next room, Olivia watched the screen with a calm expression. Nancy's drug was potent. In her past life, Olivia had drunk the tea but was saved by Theodore, preserving her innocence. However, photos were taken, tarnishing her reputation. But now, this was just the beginning. Olivia picked up Nancy's phone, typing a message. All done. So this drug was Nancy's doing? Theodore sat beside Olivia, his tall frame blocking the light. Yes, I just used their own tactics against them. Olivia sighed, looking up at Theodore. Thank you. Thank you for trusting me, thank you for protecting me in my past life. Theodore's eyes darkened, daring to mess with him. How bold. After a while, the sound of footsteps approached. Olivia walked to the window, seeing a crowd of reporters rushing into the hotel. Caroline stood in the center wearing high heels, looking anxious. Miss Shun, what do you think about the events in the hotel? Is it true? Caroline's face was filled with fear, her voice trembling just enough to be captured by the microphones. Did you find out? How could she be so careless? Then, as if realizing her mistake, she hurriedly defended herself. No, it's not like that. Olivia truly cares for Theodore. How could she do something like this? I don't know anything. She threatened me. The reporters exchanged glances, unsure, until someone spoke up. Miss One, I would never do such a thing. The door suddenly opened and Caroline's pitiful mask froze. Olivia walked to the center, Theodore following her. You? How? We're on a date. Do I need to report to you? I find it interesting. Nancy and Director Chun are in the next room. I just found out. Miss Shun, what are you doing here? Olivia, you. Caroline stammered, looking at Theodore in shock. Who knew Miss Shun would engage in such activities? No wonder you're Nancy's protégé. Caroline felt a chill down her spine, shivering involuntarily. No, Olivia, you're lying. Whether I'm lying or not, you know the truth. Olivia finished speaking and turned to leave. Barely escaping the reporters, Caroline led her bodyguards to kick open room 303's door. Inside, clothes were strewn about, and the two people on the bed were none other than Director Chun and Nancy. The incident blew up. After Theodore dropped her off, he received a call and left for a meeting. That night, Olivia couldn't sleep, her mind filled with thoughts of Theodore. At dawn, she hesitated before finally sending a message. "Theo, did you miss me?" The moment she pressed send, footsteps approached and the door burst open. Olivia's expression turned sharp, instinctively on guard. "Olivia, I've always treated you sincerely. How could you slander me like this?" Caroline clutched her chest, dark circles under her eyes, her face tear-streaked, looking pitiful. Another performance? Clearly, she hadn't learned her lesson. Olivia chuckled, crossing her arms, leaning back on the sofa like a cat, her entire demeanor filled with amusement. "This has nothing to do with you, Auntie. It's my fault for upsetting Olivia." Olivia's cold smile deepened. Caroline knew her mother was her weakness. In her past life, her mother's kindness had been exploited. What a well-calculated move. No wonder she had trusted Caroline so much. At that moment, Simon's phone beeped with a news alert. Popular star Caroline Shun caught in scandal. What? This? Simon's eyes widened, his rage barely contained. This minor task had been botched, forcing him into a desperate move. Fool! Why such a fuss? Vivian's heart sank with a foreboding feeling. Her hands trembled as she faced a situation she had never encountered before. Simon showed Vivian the screen, his eyes filled with shock and pain. "It's my fault, not Olivia's. She was just joking with me. Auntie, please don't be mad." Caroline clung to Vivian's hand, pleading desperately, tears streaming down her face. "Olivia, how could you do this to Caroline? She's like a sister to you." Simon's face turned red, veins bulging, his fists pounding the door in frustration. Olivia yawned lazily, inwardly mocking. Was this dramatic acting a family trait? They were all so exaggerated. "Olivia, what happened?" Vivian's brows furrowed with concern. Olivia stood, her expression innocent. "Mom, you should ask Caroline. She tried to drug me, but it backfired." "You liar." Simon exploded before Caroline could speak. "Caroline would never do such a thing. But you, Olivia, ever since you returned, you've accused everyone of harming you and your mother. You're out of control." The tension thickened and Olivia suddenly laughed, her delicate face lighting up with a dazzling smile. "Really?" Her smile still lingering, Olivia looked at Simon. "Uncle Simon, I have proof." Caroline's heart skipped a beat, recalling she hadn't directly interacted with Olivia. She relaxed slightly. Olivia pulled out a recorder, and the conversation between Caroline and Nancy played out clearly. "Give it to her. I want her ruined." "It's fake." Caroline lunged at Olivia, trying to grab the recorder, but Olivia swiftly dodged. "Recordings can be faked. This is all a lie." Caroline's face was pale, her voice shaking. "Don't worry, I have witnesses too." Olivia's tone was calm, her gaze fixed on Caroline. "Ah!" A voice, aged yet strong, interrupted. Olivia walked over, gently supporting the elderly man. "Grandfather, why didn't you call me for your morning walk? When did you get back?" Simon forced a smile, his expression strained. Caroline's face was ashen, her lips trembling. "Yesterday." Grandfather Wen thought for a moment. "I even had tea with Olivia and watched a little drama." He squinted at Caroline, his gaze stern and questioning. "Caroline, what have we ever done to you?" With a thud, Caroline fell to her knees, trembling, unable to speak. "Caroline, was it really you? How could you do such a thing?" Simon pretended to be shocked, slapping Caroline a few times in a show of regret and pain. "Father, Caroline is still young. She can change." "She's young, so you misbehave with her? What are you a child to?" Grandfather Wen glared at Simon. Simon swallowed his anger, unable to respond. "I don't care how old she is. With such thoughts, she can't stay in the one family. Father, do you want to leave with her?" Simon fell silent, unable to speak. "Grandfather." Caroline's voice trembled, but Grandfather Wen cut her off. "Silence. The one family has no place for you. It's over, all over." Caroline looked at Simon, but he only gave her a warning glance. Olivia stood beside her grandfather, watching it all unfold. Chapter 4, the finale. After changing clothes, Grandfather Wen left for the company, and Caroline was taken to her room. The house returned to its previous calm. Olivia picked up her phone, looking at the lone in the message. All her emotions vanished as Olivia's eyes lit up with joy. She couldn't control her happiness. "Wait, I'm coming to see you." Olivia headed to Theodore's company. Her mood lifted. Even the scenery along the way appeared more pleasing. At the office door, the secretary hurried to greet her. This fiancé was the apple of the boss's eye, and he dared not be negligent. "Miss Wen, Mr. Han is still in a meeting. Would you like to wait in his office? Can I get you a drink? Coffee or tea?" The secretary asked respectfully. "No need. I'll just wait inside." Olivia smiled, pushing the door open. The secretary couldn't help but admire Olivia's humility despite her status as the future Mrs. Han. Theodore's office was minimalist and luxurious, filled with books and documents. The sofa was plush and comfortable. Sitting on the sofa, Olivia crossed her legs elegantly, scrolling through her phone. The office door suddenly opened. A woman in a silver sequin dress and 10-inch heels strutted in, her pink-brown curls bouncing with each step, exuding confidence. Olivia looked up, recognizing the woman as popular actress Lily and even remembering the dress, a gift from Theodore. "Why are you here?" Lily's disdainful gaze swept over Olivia. Olivia hid her annoyance, responding lightly. "I'm waiting for Theodore." "Ah yes, the famous Miss Wen, Theodore's fiancé. But do you really think you can hold on to him? Men like him get bored easily. Don't delude yourself into thinking he truly loves you." Lily's words dripped with scorn. Olivia's smile remained unfazed. "I'm grateful for your concern, Miss Anne." "Concern? Hardly. I'm just stating facts. Men like Theodore don't stick around. He'll discard you eventually." Lily's tone was condescending. Olivia's smile widened. "Thank you for the advice, but I think you misunderstand. I'm not worried about holding on to Theodore." Lily's confidence wavered. "You think you can compete with me?" Olivia's eyes sparkled with mischief. "Compete? There's no competition. I'm his fiancé." Lily's face twisted with anger. "You're delusional. Theodore will never marry you." At that moment, Theodore's voice cut through the tension. "Is there a problem, Lily?" Lily froze, turning to see Theodore standing in the doorway, his expression icy. "Theodore, I was just..." "Leave." Theodore's tone was final. Lily's face crumbled, but she managed a weak smile. "Of course, Theodore." As Lily left, Theodore's gaze softened, focusing on Olivia. "Are you okay?" Olivia nodded, her eyes shining with gratitude. "I'm fine, thanks to you." Theodore's lips curved into a rare smile. "Let's go." Hand in hand, they left the office, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead, knowing they would always have each other. Epilogue. 2 years later, Theodore paced outside the delivery room, sweat beading on his forehead. "Theodore, sit down. Olivia won't be out for a while." Vivian watched him with a smile, pleased with how he had cared for Olivia. "Mom, how much longer?" Theodore's voice trembled. "First babies take time. Don't worry." Vivian tried to reassure him, though she was just as anxious inside. After all, childbirth was a moment of great risk and joy. Inside the delivery room, Olivia was in immense pain, her forehead covered in sweat. She couldn't help but cry out, "Push, Mrs. Han. You're almost there." Following the doctor's instructions, Olivia mustered all her strength. Wah wah. With the baby's first cries, Olivia's first child was born. The doctor wrapped the baby in a blanket and brought him to Olivia, who was exhausted but relieved. The nurse pushed Olivia out of the delivery room, where Theodore was waiting anxiously. "Congratulations, Mr. Han. It's a healthy baby boy." Theodore's face lit up with joy as he looked at his newborn son and his wife. They had made it through together, and nothing could take away this moment of happiness. Months turned into years, and Theodore and Olivia's life settled into a rhythm of love and family. Their bond grew stronger with each passing day, and their home was filled with laughter and warmth. One evening, as they sat on the porch watching the sunset, Olivia leaned her head on Theodore's shoulder, their son playing at their feet. "Theodore." Olivia began softly. "Thank you for everything. For believing in me, for standing by me." Theodore turned his head, kissing her gently on the forehead. "You don't need to thank me. I should be thanking you. You've given me a family, a reason to come home every day with a smile." Olivia smiled, her eyes sparkling with happiness. "I love you, Theodore. And I love you, Olivia. Forever." Their son, hearing his parents, ran over and climbed into Theodore's lap. "Daddy, Mommy, I love you too." They laughed, the pure joy of their son's words wrapping around them like a warm blanket. Years later, as they celebrated their anniversary, Olivia reflected on how far they had come. From the trials of the past to the triumphs of the present, their journey had been filled with challenges, but also with immense love and growth. Their children, now grown, filled the house with their own stories and laughter. Olivia and Theodore watched them with pride, knowing they had built a legacy of love and strength. As they danced under the stars at their anniversary party, Theodore whispered in Olivia's ear, "No matter what happens, as long as we're together, everything will be perfect." Olivia looked up at him, her heart full. Always together. And with that, they continued to dance, holding each other close, knowing that their love would carry them through anything that life might bring. Their story was one of resilience, trust, and unwavering love, a testament to the power of believing in each other and never giving up, no matter the odds. And so they lived, loved, and laughed, creating a lifetime of beautiful memories together.